Hi everyone and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer and I'm excited to be here with you today to share some ideas with you and inspire you with your stamping, card making, and today, coloring. Today we're going to focus on watercolor pencils and I'm going to show you a few basic techniques to do with watercoloring so you can color your stamped images in a fun, effective way, and also a reasonably cost-effective way as well. So I'm not sure if you've tried watercolor pencils before, but they're a great way to color your images. So thank you for joining me here, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording later. Thank you, wherever you're from, whether you're from New Zealand or overseas. I appreciate you being here. Please let me know in the comments where you're from. I know that there are people here in New Zealand, but also overseas that watch this too. And for some of you, you may be watching it now, others may be the recording. So still comment, because I would love to read your comments and comment on things later too. So each Thursday, New Zealand time at 1:30 on a Thursday, I come to you with this live. Now I know afternoons don't always work for everyone, but at least you have the opportunity to watch this recording when it suits you. So I appreciate that. It's showing on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, please subscribe and like this. And I think there's a place to click notifications and then you'll be able to know when I go live again. All right, so what I'm going to share with you today is a card or a couple of cards that involve some watercolor pencils and give you a couple of some basic tips to do with coloring those. So let me show you my desk and I'll kind of show you what we're doing today and what we're using. All right, so now I do need to know, I am using my glass mat because it's a nice firm surface. Is it okay? I know there's the grid pattern behind. Is that okay for you guys, or is it a little bit, a bit distorted? All right, hi Sheila, hi Linda. Awesome, thank you for being here. Is this sound okay today? There's lots of different things I need to check. I know there was a bit of echoing last week at the end. I think I know what's caused that, so I can look out for it today. So let me know if the sound's okay. And is this okay to look at, or is it a little bit sort of blurry on your eyes? If not, I can put something else on the front for a little bit and then just use the glass mat afterwards. So let me know. It's fine? Okay, oh, that's good to know. Great. So watercolor pencils. So Stampin' Up have 2 packets of watercolor pencils. They have a standard one, assortment one. Now my assortment one it's an older box, as you can see. This is what they look like now. The colors have changed slightly because colors change over the years. And I actually like to put my color pencils into a case like this. And then they're all here, easy to see. And I actually put the list at the back. So one of the blues has changed, like Pacific Point isn't around anymore, but you know, there's other blues and things. Bermuda Bay isn't. So it's basically the same, but with a slight change. And if you want more colors, then there's assortment 2, which includes like your purples and yeah, some other colors as well. But if you check out on the website, you'll see what the current colors are. But you can do a lot with just assortment 1. So they're great value. Variety of colors, great for coloring. And then obviously if you want to add more, you can use this too. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is make 2 cards as well as share a little tip with you. So the first card, I've got a couple of variations of it, except I can't find my other variation. Oh, here it is. Yep. So I have, whoops, we've got a bonus die with that. Oh, that's right. You do get the reflection of my lights there. So that's why I'm sort of, yeah, putting that there. All right. So this is the same design, but I've added an extra layer. So I've just kept it simple to like stamp ink and papers, or in this case, some colored pencils as part of our inking. So this is just a note card and I've just stamped on it and then colored it. This one here, I actually cut it a little bit smaller. I've actually, I don't know if you can see, there's 2 layers. I've done it on a piece of cardstock and then stuck it on my note card, sort of frames it. That way if I mess anything up, I can have another go, stick it down, which is always useful. With this one here, I cut it too small, so I actually framed it with the balmy blue, which was kind of one of the colors. So I thought that was quite nice. So that's your basic colouring, but I'll give you some tips when doing that. And then the second card I'm going to do is this one here. And I'm teaching the reverse stamping technique, or in this case, the mirroring technique. So if you look at the stamp set, it is this one here, Winterly Treetops. So you've only got one bird and he's turning facing to the left. I've made him so he turns to the right. So stick around and I'll show you how to do that as well. So this particular set is a stamp set and die set. And it is on the last chance, so it is going to be retiring. And so when you buy it as a bundle, it's 100 and I can't actually remember. You get 10% off. But actually, the stamps and dies have been reduced. So it's actually, always check out when last chance products come up, because it's actually cheaper to buy them separately now the special is on. So always look out for that with the last chance. If you're getting a bundle, is the bundle better value, or is, you know, the stamps and dies? You might just want the stamps and not the dies, and you'll get it cheaper as well. So we're going to use this image and this image, and I've used on that second card, a friend like you brings me happiness. And then for the other card, I like doing some thanks. So I've just used the thanks from the Simply Said card. All right, now where is my card stock? Like always, oh, it's right here. Okay, so looks like I've got the bigger one there, so we're not going to frame it, but that's okay. So let's put this here so we can kind of look at it as we go. And I'm just going to leave a piece of cardstock there, so hopefully that light doesn't reflect up too much. Okay, so I'm using Memento ink to stamp my image, and then I'm using some of the watercolor pencils. So I'm using Cherry Cobbler, which I do think is from assortment 2, but you could use Real Red, which is assortment 1. Daffodil Delight. I use the blue. I use the Balmy Blue, which is, I believe, again from the second assortment, but you could use the blue from the first assortment. My browns, Early Espresso, and then I inadvertently use Cajun Craze, so I'm actually going to use both of those. And a bit of, not for this one, but for the other one, I've used a bit of the basic grey as well. So you can, you know, change these up and do them as you wish. Okay. So with my image, so I've got this on an E-block because it's quite a big one. I am sort of doing it to the side because you can see the sort of branch carries on. So I want it like that, plus a bit of space for my sentiment. And because it's a bigger stamp, I'm going to ink it up like this. Make sure I get a nice even covering. If you do it this way, it's less likely to rock it into the stamp pad, which is always good. I'm going to stand up to stamp, but I will sit down when I'm colouring. Are you a stand up or a sit down stamper? Quite often I actually stand, sorry. But when it's something a bit more involved like this, I will sit down. Oh yes, Sheila said she liked the pencils that came with the kit. So yeah, there was the Nature's Watercolor kit or something, and that did come with some pencils too. So you could get that. Oops, shaking the table. It comes with a water painter and some colours. I think mine are still in the, or they might have been mixed in here. Who knows? But they're yeah, so they're useful too. I know the kit was a last chance. I'm not sure if it's still available or not, so you'll have to check that out. But if you do like watercolouring and that involves using water, I'm not going to use water today. Now, what I did want to do was on a scrap piece is I'm just going to stamp my bird again. I'm going to kind of show you a couple of things of what not to do. So I'm just going to stamp another one. Okay. So if we've got our bird, so let's say we've got our blue, and if I colour with a pencil like normal and I'm doing kind of lines, I don't know how well you can see that. You can kind of see the lines a little bit. Like, let me just kind of, have I got more scrap paper? Looking. Let me just get a very little scrap piece. Often when we're colouring, you go like that and then you get you know, kind of lines and things, which you don't really want. You can, sometimes you want it for effect, sometimes you don't. So what I am going to do when I'm coloring my bird is I am going to do kind of circular motions, very little. And I'm going to start quite light and just very circular motions, and that gets rid of those lines. Now, if my pencil, because I just did that, is a little bit kind of pointy, I'm actually going to just soften the tip a little bit. I'm actually going to take my bracelet off because it's clanking on the table, and I'm sure you don't want that. So take that off for the moment. All right, so let's just try on here, gentle circle motions, and that makes it smoother rather than getting those lines. So let's try that. So we're going to do the head of the bird, nice little circle motions like so. Just start off light. It's possibly a little bit darker than I anticipated. And then we're going to do his wings as well. Now I'm working probably a little bit faster than I usually would, just for the sake of time. I'd be a little bit more careful kind of thing. And actually what I'll do is I've got one here that I started earlier. So just to speed things up. So that's the first bird. So let's do the second bird. So again, I'm going to color just slightly, little circles, very lightly. Try not to shake the table. All right. And that way you don't see lines. If I colored this one like this and did it like that, can you see the difference with the lines? Where are we? Okay. So little circle motions. I'm actually going to do the little beak now as well. This one I'm just sort of having to color because it's just a very small space. Carrying on with my kind of feathers on his wing, I'm going to keep doing the circle motion, lots of little circles, and I'm going to sort of join it up there. Come down here, jump over the, what do you call it, branch. I do want it a bit darker, so down the bottom I'm going to push a bit dark, or push more, and keep doing my circles and make it darker like so. Okay, so that is my blue. I might come back, but we'll do that for now. For my yellow, where did my scrap piece go? Here. I'm just gonna, just don't want it too pointy, so I'm gonna do again right on the edge, little circles, quite lightly. Try and keep it sort of smooth, just gentle, just to sort of have that bit of shading on his belly. I can come back and make it a little bit darker, closer to the edge if I want. And what have I done? I've kind of gone up to where those lines are, so we'll keep going a bit more. So the big thing is kind of circle motions, start light and go darker. Right, so we could leave it white. I don't know if you can tell, but in this one here, I've actually gone very lightly with the blue. So you can see we've got that sort of gradient. So get back to my blue again. I'm going to keep going with my circles. I'm actually going to start where it's darker and then just very lightly kind of go over with my circles again. Just a slight bit of blue in there. Like I say, I would be a little bit slower and a little bit more careful. But you get the idea. And then if I want maybe a little bit dark around the edge of his head, just going to press a bit harder, keep doing my little circles. So how's that? So I don't know if you can see, but I can. There is a little bit of very light blue, but it's just subtle. I might just come in where these lines are and just bring that color down a little bit more as well. You may want to do actual lines because that's where the lines are. You can do that too if you want to. But if you want, I'm not using any blender pen. I'm just using my watercolor pencils. So that's how you get that kind of soft look. Now with my branch, I kind of stumbled across this by accident. I picked up this pencil thinking it was my brown, thinking it was my early espresso, and I colored it in and thought, oh, it's actually Cajun Craze, which is a little bit more sort of orangier than I wanted. This one, because it's so thin, I can't really do round things because it'll go over the edge. So I am just kind of doing lines. So I went through with my Cajun Craze first, and then I wanted to tone it down a little bit. So then I came over the top with my, now this one isn't as pointy, added a bit of early espresso on the top. So you can do that. You could use a couple of colors and put them together. Now, as best as I can, just going to go where those lines are. So there we go. Now you'll see I've done these little berries as well. So I have done them with cherry cobbler. So again, circle motions, making it light. And then if you want to add a bit of dimension maybe at the bottom, I just make it a little bit darker. So you've sort of got that two-tone effect. So circles, keep it light, and away we go. All right, so let's just, okay, so I've done some of them before just to speed things up, okay? So there is our image. So do you like that? You may want to go back with a bit more color. I just feel I need a little bit more brown in here, so we're just going to go back in. So there we go. How's that? So we need to stamp a little sentiment. So I'm just going to do thanks because I like having lots of thank you cards. Now, if I did mess it up, I can just get a strip and put it over the top. So then what I'm going to do with that one, that is a slightly smaller one. So then now be careful that you don't have black on your hands, like from your Mento, your lid or something, because you end up with a little smudge mark, which is what I did on my other card. So I'm going to get your suggestions on that. So we're going to put that on there. And then I've got my note cards, which are a nice small card base, pre-scored. And I think my bone folders are in the other room. Fold it in half, make sure it lines up, crease it, press it down. We're just going to have to use my finger today. Oh, look. See, I've got black on it, but we'll cover it up. Is that going to work? A border there and a border there. I think this one needs to be trimmed slightly. Now, I don't know if you can see, I actually need to change my blades. It's a bit whispery. Just wet your finger and go like that. And my trimmer is here. So I will just trim that off. So it should be 12.3 is a measurement I like. It's just going to be a smidgen, which sometimes is actually hard to take off. There we go. So the blue piece is 12.3 centimeters by 8.5. And then the white piece is 11.8 by 8 centimeters. I'm not sure what that is in metric. And then I would put that together like so. Now that is just stamp ink and papers, our ink being Memento and watercolor pencils. You could add a bit of bling to it if you wanted. Totally up to you. All right. Are you all following me? All good? You can hear me okay? No problems? So that's just stamping it and coloring it. What I want to show you with the second card, which is, I showed you before, so it's got to be here. Have I buried it? Where is it? Yep, I have buried it. All right, is this one here? Okay, so what I mean about smudges is that little smudge there, which is slightly annoying, but anyway. So I've got a piece of white card. And our stamp that we're going to use is this one here. Now I did stamp this one first and then do the mirrored or reversed one. The only problem with that is you can't control quite so much where it goes, whereas I can see the positioning. So I'm actually going to do this one first. So what you need to do is you need a silicone craft mat, which is one of these. Okay. What I'm going to do is stamp it onto the craft mat. Then I'm going to pick it up, turn it over and put it down and press so the ink goes onto the paper, and then that will give me the mirrored image. So if I do it in the left corner here, then it will be down like that. So make sure this is clean and not because if I stamped one before and there was obviously a little black on it again, I did it again, and some of that kind of came through. So make sure, actually, I don't know if you can see, I can actually see a mark there slightly. So I am just going to, it might just be a little bit of ink, but we don't want it showing through. And be careful because this corner is not flat because of the stamping up. So I wouldn't use that corner, otherwise it'll be bumpy and not so flat. So let's use this corner here. So I'm going to ink it up with my black ink, which, sorry, you can't see, and position it in that corner like so. Try not to move it, otherwise it's going to be blurred. So can you see it there? All right. So as carefully as you can, once you put it down, that's it. Don't move it. Line it up. I'm not sure if that worked or not, if it moved. Press it down. Okay. Can you see through it? Can you actually see the bird there? So make sure you press it down firmly. That's why I wanted the glass mat. And it's good for colouring on too. Lift it up. Yay! That's pretty good. I might have smudged slightly there, which is a little bit annoying. Do I have another piece to try? I might just do it again and then we'll see which one we like. Now, you can just see the leftovers of that. So if I turn it over on the back and go down, oh, nothing actually came out. Okay, but it could have. I'm just going to wipe it just to be sure. So let me show you that process one more time. So I'm just going to make sure it's dry. We'll see if we can make it slightly less what's the word? Blurred. But okay, so ink it up. Put it in this corner here. Then turn it over. There is actually a little bit of, oh, this is the hard part, putting it down. It's putting it straight down. There we go, pushing it down. Press, 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 and lift up. Oh, that's slightly better. So can you see the two? I think that one's just slightly clearer. Okay, just putting that to stop. So the other one is pretty good. Now, when I come to stamp the other one, it's probably not quite as dark a black ink as if you did it, you know, this way. Now the challenge is, I'm going to stand up for this for positioning, trying to get them sort of level with each other, looking at the space at the side. I don't have to be perfect, but no pressure now. That's pretty good. I'm impressed with that. How about that? We need the Stamparatus back. Yeah, although the Stamparatus won't work for the mirror one, but it is good for positioning. Okay, so there we go. Doesn't that look pretty good? And it's come through pretty clear as well. So I'm going to show you how I coloured these birds. It is more of a neutral colour. I mean, you could change it up and use blues and yellows and things if you want. But yeah, so I'm going to start off with my basic grey. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to start off with my Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to do the beaks first. That way I won't go over the wrong places. So we'll do our little beaks. This one I'm pushing relatively hard, like so. Then now I'm going to come in with my basic grey. And like before, I'm going to do little circle marks quite lightly around the head part first. Okay, you probably can't even see any colour on there, but it is. So let's go a little bit darker. Remember, it's better to start lighter. Oh, now I've gone too dark. But just circles, and that way you get that smooth edge. Oh, I don't like that join so much. There we go. All right, I'm going to come and do my feathers. Darker again, circle motions. Obviously, there's lots of lines in here anyway. So I've gone for the greys for that. I'm going to do the little legs. This one is tiny. You just have to kind of colour in with lines. We might as well do this one over here at the same time. Okay, now I'm coming in with my brown, my early espresso. So I'm just going to sort of make sure it's not too pointy. And I'm going to start actually down here. Circle motions. And with this one, I've kind of coloured the whole thing. but I want it to be sort of darker down the bottom. So I'm going to come back over, press a bit harder, and then it's obviously going to take a bit longer to color. Just keep doing circle motions, try and blend in those colors in the sense of where it's darker and lighter, and just keep going. There's a bit of a line there, so I'm just going to sort of make that a bit darker so it's a shadow. And maybe up by the edge here I could go a bit darker as well. Sort of blend those two colors together where they sort of meet, and keep moving around. So that way you don't get the lines. So let's have a look for this one here. If I color the traditional way, like so, you know, you're going to have lots of lines like that. Now that's fine if you're going to use a blender pen, and that is another technique which I'm not going to show today, but you can do. But if you just want to use the watercolor pencils and have that soft look, then just do the kind of circle kind of pattern. And I'm going to push it a little bit harder where these lines are, because that's sort of a bit more of a definition. And you might even want to keep sort of a white patch. It's totally up to you. Now don't worry, you don't have to see me color both birds. What I do on one is kind of the same as the other. So just, you get the idea, except it's just in reverse. So once I've colored it in, I might decide, yeah, I want to go darker at the bottom, feel like a bit of a shading over the bottom of his kind of belly. So then I can go back and add a bit more color, and then it gets lighter. All right, so can you see that sort of shading and things? It's slightly different to this one. They're all going to be different. I'll come in again with my cherry cobbler, or you could have real red if you've got that, and color them, and then maybe a bit more darker on one edge kind of thing. Then lastly, maybe we'll try the Cajun craze again, just to keep the branch a bit different, so it's not the same. Whoops, I think I will do circles in this one here. And I think I will still go over with my early espresso because it's a little bit orangey. Let's do both of these at the same time. So there you go. So I hope you have learned a few tips with watercolor pencils. Now there's lots of things that you can learn with watercolor pencils. More tips to do with shading and blending and highlighting and all sorts of different things. You can obviously use them with blender pens and mix colors and things as well. So myself and a few other, 3 other demonstrators, international demonstrators, have put together a watercoloring class. So it's making simple cards and showing you different techniques like this. So this is kind of just one of them that you can start off with to get that shading and to make it look nice. And then we kind of show you other ways that you can color and add to your, your techniques with watercolor pencils. So if you would like to find out more about that, the link is in today's description. There is an early bird special until tomorrow. So the class, people have been able to buy the class, but it's not actually live until tomorrow. So class access is tomorrow. The early bird price is until tomorrow, which is $25. On Saturday, it goes up to $32. So let me just show you some examples. So it's called the Simple Cards Creative Coloring with Watercolor Pencils. And these are a few of the cards that we have created. So you can just see, it's obviously very hard to see, but some techniques with coloring, some different ways of doing layouts and things. You can highlight an image. You can, do all sorts of things with them as well. So we've each chosen a different focus. I am doing simple layouts and things, and I'm using the Choose Happy stamp set. So it's got sentiments and little images, different ways to use that. Now, you don't have to have the same stamp sets that we've got. The idea is you need a line kind of stamp. So a line stamp means like an outline so that you can then color. So like we had today with this one here, these are line stamps because there's a line and then you can color them in. If it's a solid stamp like a heart or something, you can't color it in. So you can use what you've got. I'll show you how to use little images and make interesting cards. Other people will show techniques and other layouts and things too. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description, and feel free to ask me any questions. All right, so let me show you. So with this card, I obviously stamped the sentiment. I coloured in the other one, and then I've put it onto a piece of crumb cake and then onto a white base. Now, I haven't got any crumb cake with me. I forgot to bring it out, but let's just, is that going to be big enough? No, that's too small. That was from last week's card. Okay, but you get the idea. You could have it just a white card, but I think it looks quite nice framed. You could add embellishments to it if you wanted. Now, I was going to ask your opinion. What should I do? There's this little smudge here. Do I leave it as it is, or do I maybe add some sparkle to it? I mean, usually I'd put like sparkle there and there. Would it look funny if I put some sparkle in the middle? What do you reckon? I appreciate your feedback on that one. So the cards that we made today, we made a card like this. All right, so just with the colouring, or you can keep it simple. Just have the one colour with the white. And then we did the mirror stamping using our silicone mat. Now, I think I've just realized I forgot to put this in the supply. So let me add that to my supply list because I don't think I put that in. All right. Very good. Any questions? So I hope you like today's cards and watercoloring. Let me know if you've done watercoloring before. Yeah. And hopefully those techniques gave you some ideas. Like I say, we've got more ideas to share about watercoloring. So I hope you learned something today. Seems fairly quiet today with comments and things. So I hope I am still going live. It's looking like I'm going live my end. So I'm going to switch back cameras. Sorry, I have to adjust my glasses forward when I'm coloring so I can see properly. The eyesight and things are struggling a bit. Okay. So thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you being here. I know many of you will watch this live later. So if you've got questions and things, please ask. And when I get a chance, I will reply. And yeah, I enjoy sharing these ideas and things with you. There's a few more weeks until the new annual catalogue will be coming out. I'll be sending that to my customers. They have arrived, but obviously it takes me time to make the labels and put the information to go with it. And so next week, school holidays and things, I'll be able to get on top of that. Very good. So if you're ever interested in placing an order through me, you can do that through my online store or contact me. Remember, you can earn stamping rewards now, and those rewards are for any purchase $40 or more, and they go into your account as long as you've opted in. And then you can use those to redeem on your next order or save them up for a future order, which is very cool. So if I can help in any way, if you've got ideas of things you'd like me to cover, I might be able to include them in a future live or my newsletter. So reach out to me if you've got any questions. I love being able to do my best to answer those questions. So thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Reach out to me if I can help, or you need a catalogue or order or anything like that. And please feel free to share this with others. On YouTube, I am getting closer to 500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please join. Let's see if we can get over 500 subscribers. That would be awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again next